حي على الفلاح.
This is Surah Yasin, and this was of course revealed in Makkah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks to us about the validity of the messengership of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, about the akhirah and the resurrection, and about faith and iman in this Qur'an. This surah, as the scholars of Islam mention, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continuously goes around these three topics again and again. So at one point he'll mention how Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is definitely a right prophet, how this Qur'an is definitely the best of books and a valid book that they should all take and pay attention to. And number three, how the day of judgment is going to come and it is going to be so difficult upon those who disbelieve in this Qur'an. This surah is one of the surahs that the Prophet ﷺ used to love to recite. In fact, the linguistic imagery of the Qur'an in this surah is exquisite. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, in the name of Allah, Ar-Rahman, the one who is generally merciful, Ar-Rahim, the one who is specifically merciful to believers. Yā Sīn. Yaseen, the scholars have said many different meanings behind it. The first opinion states that Yaseen means the Qur'an. And in fact, Ibn Kathir rahimahullah mentions 15 opinions regarding what Yaseen means. So some of the scholars said Yaseen means the Qur'an. Other scholars said Yaseen means Ya Nas. Therefore, sometimes in the Arabic language, out of poetry and out of beauty, instead of actually saying all of the letters, only some of the letters of these phrases and words are mentioned. Other scholars said no, here the nas that is being intended is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's why they said Ya Sīn means Ya Muhammad. Wallahu ta'ala alam, this does not seem to be the strongest opinion. The stronger opinion seems to be what Ibn Kathir said, which is the strongest opinion about all of these letters, Yaseen, Alif Lam Mim, all of these letters, is that they all refer back to the Qur'an, because right after it, very next verse refers back to the Qur'an. The next sentence says, Wal Qur'anil Hakim, meaning I swear by the Qur'an, which is Al-Hakim, the most wise. It shows that the Qur'an is not created, that it is from Allah, and if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not created, Qur'an is not created. Innaka laminal mursaleen, verily, O you, O Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, you are from the messengers. Why did Allah Azza wa Jal have to say that indeed you are from the messenger when it was known? Because the disbelievers of Quraysh, they said you are not a messenger. Allah refuted them and said, rather you are from the messengers, you are definitely a messenger of God. Ala sirati mustaqim, you are upon the sirat, which is the path, mustaqim, that is straight and upright. So the Qur'an is Sirat al-Mustaqim. The religion of Islam is Sirat al-Mustaqim. The Prophet's Sunnah is Sirat al-Mustaqim. It is a straight path. Tanzeel al-Aziz al-Rahim, meaning this Qur'an is Tanzeel from Al-Aziz al-Rahim. The Aziz meaning the honored one, which is Allah, al-Rahim, which is the one who is most merciful, the most honored, most merciful God, who has sent something down from Himself, which is this Qur'an, which happens to be Sirat al-Mustaqim. لِتُنذِرَ قَوْمًا مَا أُنذِرَ آبَاؤُهُمْ فَهُمْ غَافِلُونَ. He has sent this Qur'an down, تَنزِيلٌ مِّنْ عَزِيزِ الرَّحِيمِ لِتُنذِرَ. Lam over here means in order, the reason why. So why was this Qur'an revealed? لِتُنذِرَ, in order that you may to warn a people, مَا أُنذِرَ آبَاؤُهُمْ, to warn a people whose forefathers were never warned. And whose forefathers were never warned? The Quraysh, because Quraysh had never had a prophet sent to them. فَهُمْ غَافِلُونَ. As a result, they are completely unaware, completely lost, and completely oblivious to the truth of what is being proposed here. The other meaning of ma over here could meaning that which their forefathers were already warned about. You have been sent to a people in order to warn those people who were already warned, meaning the forefathers were already warned about the coming of this messenger and about the meanings of this Qur'an. فَهُمْ غَافِلُونَ. Verily indeed they are people that are oblivious to the truth. لَقَدْ حَقَّ الْقَوْلُ عَلَىٰ أَكْثَرِهِمْ فَهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. It says that indeed the haqq, meaning the truth, has already been established upon the majority of them, so they will never ever believe. Meaning Allah has closed their hearts to guidance. Their fate is sealed. Sometimes a person may say a word which angers Allah so much that He will completely close your door to guidance. And sometimes a person may say a word which Allah loves so much that He will write for you forgiveness and mercy and entry into Jannah despite all other sins that you do after it. So one of the things, for example, that makes Allah angry, as an example, is mockery, especially of Islamic things. In fact, many a times when people mock Allah or mock His deen or mock His Prophet or mock His Qur'an, on the other hand, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves praise. Allah loves dua. Allah loves dhikr. So it may be because of a praise or a dua or a dhikr that you do, for which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will write for you forgiveness forever. In fact, it was reported in an authentic hadith that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions were walking down a road. They came past the house of Ibn Mas'ud radiallahu ta'ala anhu. They heard Ibn Mas'ud making dua to Allah. Ibn Mas'ud was praising Allah copiously. And then at that point, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam stopped. He heard Ibn Mas'ud making dua, and then he said, ask him, he will give you. So Ibn Mas'ud, right after at that point, he said, Oh Allah, I ask you for mercy on the day of judgment, for forgiveness from Jahannam, and I ask you to be the companion of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Jannah. So at that point, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, he has been given, he has been given. لَقَدْ حَقَّ الْقَوْلُ عَلَىٰ أَكْثَرِهِمْ. The truth has been established on majority of them. فَهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. So they will never ever believe. إِنَّا جَعَلْنَا فِي أَعْنَاقِهِمْ أَغْلَالًا. Verily we have put in their anaq, in their necks, aghlal meaning locks. فَهِيَ إِلَى الْأَذْقَانِ. So the locks reach the chin. فَهُمْ مُقْمَحُونَ. So they have raised necks looking down. The scholars said this means that Allah has put locks around their necks, so they're not able to turn to the hidayah of the guidance of Muhammad when it does come to them. Other scholars said no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has tied their hands to their necks, meaning that Allah has put their deeds and with their necks together, they are not able to now go and accept Islam, nor are they able to turn towards the hidayah and guidance when the hidayah and guidance comes to them. The scholars of Islam said, or Tawfique said, that this verse was revealed regarding Abu Jahl. Because Abu Jahl, he came one day and he saw Muhammad praying near the Kaaba. He got very angry. So what did he do? He took a boulder and then he came near Muhammad and then what did he do? As he was coming close, he was lifting it up. As he was lifting the boulder up, his hands became paralyzed and stuck to that position. So all he could do is just drop the boulder, and the boulder just dropped in front of him, and of course he could not get to Rasulullah. So he came to these people who were his friends, the Makhzumiyah, and he told them what happened, meaning, oh my God, I put this boulder and my hands could not move. So as a result, this verse was in reference to him. So one of the Makhzumiyah, one of the children of the Makhzumiyah, what he did was, he took a sword, so as he reached in front and he went to the Kaaba, he simply couldn't find him. Where is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? He's not there. Where is he? Actually, he was in front of him, right there in front of him. But he could not see. And so the scholars of Tafsir said the second verse was revealed regarding the Makhzumiyah. What was it? The fact that وَجَعَلْنَا مِن بَيْنِ أَيْدِيهِمْ سَدًّا وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ سَدًّا فَأَغْشَيْنَاهُمْ فَهُمْ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ. And we put a cover in front of them, and we put a cover behind them, and we covered them up so he could not see at all. وَسَوَاءٌ عَلَيْهِمْ. And it is equal, O Muhammad alayhim, upon them. أَأَنذَرْتَهُمْ. If you warn them, أَوْ أَمْ لَمْ تُنذِرْهُمْ. Or you don't warn them, لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. They'll never believe. إِنَّمَا تُنذِرُ مَنِ اتَّبَعَ الذِّكْرَ وَخَشِيَ الرَّحْمَنَ بِالْغَيْبِ. Rather, Muhammad the one you should be warning is the one who follows the command, the dhikr, the reminder. وَخَشِيَ الرَّحْمَنَ بِالْغَيْبِ. And the one who fears Allah in secret. The one who fears Allah at the depths of night. The one who fears Allah in his house. Because it's very easy to fear Allah in front of each other, but it's difficult to fear Allah when we are alone with our families or we are alone on our own. And that is the fear that matters. فَبَشِّرْهُ بِمَغْفِرَةٍ Then give them the glad tidings of mercy, وَأَجْرٍ كَرِيمٍ and a noble reward which is Jannah. Inna, verily us, nahnu, verily it is we, nuhyil mauta, we give life to the dead. وَنَكْتُبُ مَا قَدَّمُوا and we will write down what every human being has done or put forward as deeds. وَآثَارَهُمْ and the effect of the deeds. Ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, this verse means that Allah will write down in our books everything we have done, and the best of our athar is our children. That means whatever we do and whatever our children do will be written in our books. That means if your children are misguided and you have not told them to be guided, then you will feel their punishment and their pain too. On the other hand, imagine if you trained your children, made them righteous, then subhanAllah, that day will come when you will also benefit from whatever they do in this dunya as well. Some of the scholars said atharahum means whatever is the effect of their deeds, meaning they applied the hadith of Rasulullah which is whoever does a good sunnah, then he will have that the reward of that deed and the reward of whoever does that deed until the day of judgment. So the one who built this masjid, for example, not only gets the reward of the masjid and its building, will get a paradise and he'll get a house better than it in Jannah, but also he gets the reward of whoever does whatever in this masjid ila yawm al-qiyamah. This verse should put fear in the hearts of anyone who does sins publicly. So if you smoke, for example, which I consider it a sin, you might do it privately, no one else sees it, it's a sin for you. But because of you smoking, 3 other people start smoking, and then 10 other people also start smoking. Because how many more people will now continue to sin because of this? It will be written that you are now the one who tastes the sin of all of this until the day of judgment. Those who spread sins, like today, how quickly through social media can you spread your sins? Like a sister, she's putting makeup on, oh look at me, she takes a selfie of herself. She will feel the sin of that, and all of the people and all the males and whoever fantasizes looking at that picture until the day of judgment. Inna nahnu nuhyil mauta wa naktubu ma qaddamu wa atharahum wa kulla shay'in ahsaynahu fi imamin mubin. And every single thing we have allocated for it, accounted for it, refers to the Lawh al-Mahfuz, which is with Allah, which contains the book of all our deeds, and everything in it is all contained in Lawh al-Mahfuz. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us a story of this town called Antioch. Al-Qurtubi said, all the Mufassirin, all the scholars of Tafsir said, the town that is referred to here is the town of Antioch, which is in Greater Syria. The town of Antioch was a large fortress for the Christian empire for a very long time. So therefore, to say that they did not accept the hidayah of the messengers, it doesn't make sense. So perhaps what is referred to here is not the town of Antioch, it's some other town. Wallahu ta'ala alam. But the scholars of Tafsir have said this is the town, and so Wallahu ta'ala alam, and Allah knows the best. وَاضْرِبْ لَهُمْ and tell them, mathalan, take the example or the story of Ashab al-Qarya, people of the town of Antioch. إِذْ جَاءَهُمُ الْمُرْسَلُونَ when the messengers came to them. Which messengers? So these were 2 messengers that were sent by Isa ﷺ to them. And the scholars of Tafsir said that what is referred to here, the messengers, were the followers of Isa ﷺ, right? The Hawariyun. When we sent the 2 of them, فَكَذَّبُوهُمَا so they disbelieved in them. فَعَزَّزْنَا so we strengthened them, a 3rd one, as a follow-up. فَقَالُوا إِنَّا إِلَيْكُمْ مُرْسَلُونَ so they all said, we have been sent by Isa ﷺ to this town to tell you to worship only one Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قَالُوا مَا أَنْتُمْ إِلَّا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُنَا they said, you are nothing but like human beings like us. And this is also the statement of the Quraysh. وَمَا أَنزَلَ الرَّحْمَنُ مِنْ شَيْءٍ and no, Allah did not reveal anything from him. In antum illa takdhibun, you're only lying. So the messengers were accused of lying. The liars are calling innocent people liars. قالوا, they said, Rabbuna, our Lord, ya'lamu, He knows, inna ilaykum lamursalun, that we are indeed messengers sent to you by our Prophet Isa alayhi salam. Wama alayna, and there is nothing upon us, illa al-balaghul mubin. Al-balagh, which is to spread the manifest message. Al-mubin meaning the manifest da'wah. We cannot force you. The only thing we have been asked to do is to pass on the message, and that is what is our duty. Qalu, they said, Inna tatayyarna bikum. This is important, guys. Inna meaning we, tatayyarna meaning we have had a bad, evil omen because of you. Look what you did. Just because you guys came now, our gods are angry with us. So when the Quraysh, for example, had any musibah, any difficulty, they said, it's you, Muhammad, you did it. Because of you, you came, and so Lat al-Uzza got angry with us, and so they brought us this musibah. فَإِن لَمْ تَنْتَهُوا, so if you don't stop, لَنَرْجُمَنَّكُمْ وَلَا يَمَسَّنَّكُمْ, and indeed something will touch you, minna, from us, عَذَابٌ أَلِيمٌ, a very severe punishment will touch you from us. قَالُوا طَائِرُكُمْ مَعَكُمْ, they said, you are the evil omen to yourself, meaning you are the ones who have caused this bad thing to come upon yourself by your disbelief in Allah. أَإِن ذُكِّرْتُمْ, and now that you have been told, بَلْ أَنْتُمْ قَوْمٌ مُسْرِفُونَ, rather you are a people that are transgressing. Are you saying that we are the ones, when we are the ones warning you, that we are a bad omen? No, rather you are the bad omen yourself because of your disbelief in Allah. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this verse tells us a story of this man called Habib bin Musa an-Najjar. Was a man who was upon Tawheed in this town, but he could not tolerate the shirk of the people. So he used to be inside the caves, and the caves were a bit further away from the town, inside the mountain, okay? وَجَاءَ مِنْ أَقْصَى الْمَدِينَةِ رَجُلٌ, and from the farthest part of the town came a man who is Habib bin Musa an-Najjar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu ajma'in, and he came running from the farthest part of the town. Yas'a, running, meaning he is so worried that Allah's punishment might come, and he is so eager to give da'wah that he came running. قَالَ يَا قَوْمِ اتَّبِعُوا الْمُرْسَلِينَ, O my people, follow the messengers. Why? Now he explains why. This is important. This is important because now it should tell you why we should follow Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ittabi'u, follow, man la yas'alukum ajra, the one who is only giving you good advice and he does not want any reward for it. He's not asking for any money for it, no salary, no payment is he asking for this. Why won't you accept good advice when he's giving it for free? Man la yas'alukum ajran wa hum muhtadun, and they are guided. Meaning you can see how upright they are. They speak the truth, they are positive people, they don't do evil deeds, they look after the poor, they look after the hungry and the sick. وَمَا لِيَ لَا, and what is wrong with me, or why shouldn't I? أَعْبُدُ الَّذِي فَطَرَنِي, why should I not worship the one who gave me, who brought me into existence? Meaning, isn't it logical to worship the one who created you? وَإِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ, why should I not worship the one to whom I will go back to? أَأَتَّخِذُ مِن دُونِهِ آلِهَةً, should I take anyone else as aliha, meaning a god that is worshipped? إِن يُرِدْنِ الرَّحْمَنِ بِضُرٍ, if Ar-Rahman wants a harm, لَا تُغْنِ عَنِّي شَفَاعَتُهُمْ شَيْئًا, their shafa'a, meaning their intercession, will never ever help me if Ar-Rahman wants to harm me. Meaning, why should I worship these stones and these idols and these trees, when if Ar-Rahman wanted to harm me, these trees, these stones, they're, asking them for any help would never ever help me against Ar-Rahman. لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون, and they will not be able to save me from the punishment of Ar-Rahman. Inni idhan, meaning if I were to do that, then I would be most definitely lafi ضلال mubin, I would be in manifest error. The people became very angry. So what did they do? They grabbed this man. How dare you? You're from us. In one narration, they took his limbs apart. So what happened? When he was being tied up, he screamed out loud, Inni amantu bi rabbikum fasma'un. He said, everyone, I believe in your Lord, my Lord. So listen, believe in him. So therefore he died as the best of shaheed. وَمَا أَنزَلْنَا عَلَىٰ قَوْمِهِ. And we, وَمَا, meaning we have not. أَنزَلْنَا, sent down, عَلَىٰ قَوْمِهِ, upon his people, مِن بَعْدِهِ, after his death, meaning after the death of Habib bin Musa an-Najjar, مِن جُندٍ, from the armies, مِنَ السَّمَاءِ, from the heavens, وَمَا كُنَّا مُنزِلِينَ, and we didn't have to do it. Meaning they were so insignificant to us, they were so pathetic, they were so weak to us, that all it was Jibreel screaming, and the sound of the voice of Jibreel was enough to destroy them, turn them into smithereens. In kanat, it was nothing but illa sayhatan wahida. It was only one scream, sayha, a huge scream that comes from the deepest part of the throat. فَإِذَا هُمْ خَامِدُونَ, and just because of the scream, they were khamidun. What's khamidun? To be completely vanished. So the tafsir mentions that Allah Azza wa Jal told Jibreel to scream, and all he did was scream once, and because of the power of his sound, everything exploded. This is how strong the voice of Jibreel is. In fact, scholars of Islam mention that Jibreel has the ability and power Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given him to destroy the earth. He is that powerful. Ya hasratan ala al-ibad. Man, subhanAllah, this verse, when I read it in Arabic, fills my heart with pity. Because here it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, Ya hasratan al-ibad, meaning, oh, what a pitiful state are my slaves. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about the pitiful nature of the slaves after they disobey Allah. Ma ya'tihim, there does not come to him min rasulin, from a messenger, illa kanu bihi yastahzi'un, except that they used to mock him. Meaning, woe to these slaves of mine, that not a single messenger had ever come on this earth, except that they mock my messengers. So how do they not expect Allah's anger to overtake His mercy and destroy them? Subhanallah. Alam yaraw, have they not seen? Kam ahlakna, how many we have destroyed. Qablahum min al-qurun, how we have destroyed so many of them from the people of the past. Annahum ilayhim la yarji'un, that they cannot ever come back to this dunya, or that they cannot find any signs of them at all. وَإِن كُلٌّ لَمَّا جَمِيعٌ لَدَيْنَ مُحْضَرُونَ, and it is only a little while before every one of them will be recreated and be present in front of me on the day of judgment. وَآيَةٌ لَهُمْ. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in verse number 32 onwards talks about how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given so many signs after signs after signs. And so why is it that people disbelieve? وَآيَةٌ لَهُمْ, and an ayah for those people, if they could only ponder. الْأَرْضُ الْمَيْتَةِ, the earth which is dead. أَحْيَيْنَاهَا, we have given it life. وَأَخْرَجْنَا مِنْهَا حَبًّا, and we have brought out from this earth which is grains. فَمِنْهُ يَأْكُلُونَ, so from it they eat. Meaning, in the same way as an earth is dead, and we gave it life, and from it grains come out, and you eat it, the most amount of our food is actually the grains, the rice and the wheat and the barley. That is a bigger portion of our food than anything else. Why do we not take a warning and as a sign from the food we eat? Where did this come from? It came from a dead earth. If that was the case, then why will Allah not give life back to us when we have come back to the earth as well? وَجَعَلْنَا فِيهَا, and we have put upon this earth جَنَّاتٍ مِّن نَخِيلٍ وَأَعْنَابٍ, we have put on this earth jannat, meaning gardens, min nakhil, from date palms, wa a'nab, and from grapes, wa fajjarna fiha min al-uyun, and we have caused there to gush there forth many springs, liyakulu min thamarihi, so that they may eat from its produce and from its benefits and its and the fruits that come out. Wa ma amilatu aydihim, meaning, and this is not what their hands have done. Afala yashkurun, do they not thank me? Meaning, has any human being ever created the plants or the grains, or has any human being caused the springs to come forth, or the grapes to be produced, or the date palms to be there in the desert producing these beautiful sweet grapes. No. وَمَا عَمِلَتُ أَيْدِيهِمْ, meaning their hands are not the ones who have done this. Who did this? It is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who did it. أَفَلَا يَشْكُرُونَ, why do they not thank me? سُبْحَانَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْأَزْوَاجَ كُلَّهَا, praise be to Allah, glory be to Allah, raised up is Allah above all things. سُبْحَانَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ الْأَزْوَاجَ كُلَّهَا, He created all the species of these plants on this dunya. مِمَّا تُنْبِتُ الْأَرْض, from that which the earth produces, so it grows from the earth. وَمِنْ أَنفُسِهِمْ, and from themselves He has created His species and His mate. وَمِمَّا لَا يَعْلَمُونَ, and from that which they have no knowledge as yet of. Meaning, glory be to Allah who has produced a mate from each one of the plants and a mate from each one of us, meaning from ourselves. So in the same way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala creates the mates for each other. وَمِمَّا لَا يَعْلَمُونَ, and from that which they have no knowledge of. And another sign, وَآيَةٌ لَهُمْ اللَّيْلُ نَسْلَخُ مِنْهُ النَّهَارِ, and another sign is the layl, is the night. So نَسْلَخُ مِنْهُ النَّهَارِ, so from the night we tear from it the day. فَإِذَا هُمْ مُظْلِمُونَ, and when we let it go, then lo and behold, they are now dark again. مُظْلِمُونَ, meaning they're in darkness. Meaning, we take the darkness, the light out of the night, and then suddenly we let it go, and it becomes dark again. وَالشَّمْسُ تَجْرِي, and the sun revolves around. لِمُسْتَقَرٍّ لَهَا, the sun revolves around its point. مُسْتَقَرٍّ لَهَا, the scholar said, this means under the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't know how, we have no knowledge of this, but we know in the authentic hadith, it is reported that the sun sets underneath the throne of Allah. Every day the sun rises, it asks Allah for permission to rise, and a day in which Allah will not give it permission, will say, no, you do not have permission to rise from the east, you must rise from the west. It will rise from the west, the other side. Only Allah knows how. How do we know what are the different levels until the throne of Allah? So the scholars mention in the following way. They say, here is the earth. Above the earth are 7 heavens, and in each of the heavens there is a Bayt al-Ma'mur. In each of the heavens there is a Kaaba, which is the Kaaba around which the angels revolve around. 70,000 angels revolve around Bayt al-Ma'mur every single day, and they will never ever get a chance to come back again. Another new 70,000, meaning that is how much the angels are in existence. Can you imagine? So 7 heavens. Above the 7 heavens is Jannah, and Jannah has 100 levels. After the levels, above it is water. What do you mean water? Well, because Allah says in the Qur'an, His throne is above water. So therefore, above Al-Firdaus, which is the highest level of Jannah, above it is water. Above the water are angels. Above the angels is the throne of Allah. And Allah is established on His throne in a manner befitting His majesty. So this is the way the scholars have described it. Wallahu ta'ala alim. Allah knows best. ذَلِكَ تَقْدِيرُ الْعَزِيزِ الْعَلِيمِ, that is the taqdeer, the strength and the ability and power of Al-Aziz, the most honored one, Al-Alim, the most knowledgeable. Wal-Qamar, and the moon, قَدَّرْنَاهُ مَنَازِلًا, so we have decreed multiple phases for the moon, حَتَّى عَادَ كَالْعُرْجُونِ الْقَدِيمِ, until the moon in its full brightness on the day of Badr. Badr means a full moon. It returns back to Urjun al-Qadim. Urjun is the stalk of a date palm tree. So when you take a stalk of date palm tree, it's long and bendy, right? When you let it dry, it becomes bent and thin and yellowish and bent. So Allah is referring to the new moon is like Urjun al-Qadim. Very, very dry and bent and excessively bent. And it is not fully white, it is like yellowish. And that is the new moon. So, حَتَّى عَادَ كَالْعُرْجُونِ الْقَدِيمِ, until the moon becomes like the bent old date palm stalk, which is the new moon. لَا الشَّمْسُ يَنْبَغِي لَهَا, it does not befit the sun. أَن تُدْرِكَ الْقَمَرِ, for it to take over the revolving of the moon. وَلَا اللَّيْلُ سَابِقُ النَّهَارِ, nor can the night overtake the day. Kullun fi falaki yasbahun, every single thing in its orbit, yasbahun, swimming in it, which shows that outer space has no gravity. So subhanAllah, all of these things the scholars deduced from this verse. They actually knew that outer space has no gravity because it says yasbahun, they're floating in it. وَآيَةٌ لَهُمْ, and another sign for them, أَنَّا حَمَلْنَا ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ, that we have carried his offsprings, meaning the offsprings of the children of Adam, fil fulkil mashhoon, in the fulk, which is the ship, mashhoon, which is made of planks. We carried his dhurriya. Who are these people? These were our parents from the children of Nuh alayhi salam, from the people of Nuh that believed in Nuh alayhi salam, and then everyone else was drowned. The scholars have two opinions regarding this. Some scholars said that the whole world was drowned. Other scholars said no, only that area where Nuh alayhi salam lived, which is the Black Sea, which is the Mediterranean region, only that area was drowned. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. We don't know what the truth is. وَخَلَقْنَا لَهُمْ مِن مِثْلِهِ مَا يَرْكَبُونَ, and we have created مِن مِثْلِهِ, from the example of it, مَا يَرْكَبُونَ, that which they are now able to ride. Some of the scholars of tafsir said this verse means just like there is a ship for the oceans, there is a ship for the desert, and the ship for the desert is a camel. So Allah here is referring to the camel that He created, from which we are now able to sail through the land and through the desert, and that is the ship. That's why the camel is called the ship of the desert. When you look at how Allah Azza wa Jalla has made us all of these things able to take us in the land and travel with it. وَإِن نَشَأْ نُغْرِقُهُمْ فَلَا صَرِيخَ لَهُمْ وَلَا هُمْ يُنْقَذُونَ, and if we wanted, we could have shipwrecked the ships. So their screams, no one would have heard their screams, meaning as they're dying, as they're screaming for someone to save them, no one would have heard their screams. وَلَا هُمْ يُنْقَذُونَ, and no one would have saved them from completely being drowned when they're being shipwrecked. This verse is very important. إِلَّا رَحْمَةً مِنَّا, except that I have a lot of rahmah. So Allah's rahmah is what is stopping Him from destroying us right now. Like guys, have you noticed how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala provides for us even though we're sinning? Because remember in the authentic hadith, the Prophet said, Allah said in the authentic hadith from him, he said, verily I have written that my mercy overcomes my anger. That is not only in the day of judgment, it's actually active now. So ikhwani, the only thing that we must do in order to bring on His mercy is what Allah says in the Qur'an. He says, Allah will not punish them, O Muhammad as long as you are amongst them. What if Rasulullah is not amongst us? Then look at the rest of that verse. Allah will not punish them as long as they make tawbah to me. إِلَّا رَحْمَةً مِنَّا وَمَتَاعًا إِلَى حِينٍ, except as a mercy from us and as a provision until a little while. إِلَى حِينٍ, حين means over here death. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ, and when it is said to them, اتَّقُوا مَا بَيْنَ أَيْدِيكُمْ وَمَا خَلْفَكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ, and when it is said to them, fear that which is in between you, or in front of you, or behind you, لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ, that you may have mercy, they become arrogant. وَمَا تَأْتِيهِم مِّنْ آيَةٍ مِّنْ آيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ, and وَمَا تَأْتِيهِم, there does not come to them, مِّنْ آيَاتٍ, from the signs, مِّنْ آيَاتِ رَبِّهِمْ, from the signs of Allah Azza wa Jal, إِلَّا كَانُوا, except that they are عَنْهَا, against these signs, مُعْرِضِينَ, they turn away from these signs. Ya ikhwati, how many signs does Allah Azza wa Jal give us within ourselves? In our own life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives multiple signs, but we keep turning away from it. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ أَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقَكُمُ اللَّهُ, and when it is told to them, give sadaqah. Look at this verse, amazing verse. He said, when it is said to these people, these disbelievers, أَنْفِقُوا, give sadaqah, مِمَّا رَزَقَكُمُ اللَّهُ, from what Allah has already given you. قَالَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا, those who disbelieve, they say, لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, to those who believe, أَنُطْعِمُ, shall we feed, man, those who, لَوْ يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ, that if Allah wanted, أَطْعَمَهُ, He would have fed them Himself. In antum illa fi dhalalin mubin, rather you are in manifest error. Meaning, why are we going to feed the ones who, if Allah wanted, Allah would have fed Himself? Can you see how these people are attributing their miserliness to Allah? Rather, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if He wanted, He could have fed them, yes. But Allah decreed that this dunya be a test. So He made certain people rich and other people poor, so that the test of the rich be whether they actually feed the poor, and the test of the poor be whether they are patient and ask Allah. وَيَقُولُونَ مَتَى هَذَا الْوَعْدِ, and they say, when will this promise come true? إِن كُنْتُمْ صَادِقِينَ, if indeed you are truthful. They want to know when the day of judgment will come. مَا يَنظُرُونَ, they will not be looking, meaning they will be waiting for it or doing something, except that they will hear only one sayha, except one scream, تَأْخُذُهُمْ وَهُمْ يَخِصِّمُونَ, that will take them whilst they are, meaning that they are debating each other. This verse is referring to the point that whilst they are doing business, whilst they're debating in their markets and doing business, it will be only a scream that they will hear. That is when the day of judgment will begin. And that will be that the worst of people will be existing on this dunya, and they will be in their markets doing business. At that point they will hear a scream, and the scream will start the day of judgment. فَلَا يَسْتَطِعُونَ تَوْصِيَةً, so when it comes, when the scream comes, لَا يَسْتَطِعُونَ, they will not be able to tawsiyah, to give a farewell goodbye or a farewell parting advice. وَلَا إِلَىٰ أَهْلِهِمْ يَرْجِعُونَ, nor will they be able to run back to their families to protect them when that day of judgment happens. وَنُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ, and the sur, meaning the horn, has been blown into. What is the sur? The Prophet ﷺ said, the sur is a horn in which it is blown into. So that is the instrument that has been given to this angel called Israfil to blow into. In one authentic hadith it is reported that Israfil is an angel who does not blink, because he is afraid that if he blinks, the command might come at that time, and he might end up delaying the day of judgment, waiting for the command to come. In one authentic hadith, the Prophet ﷺ woke up with a bad dream. So suddenly Aisha was asleep, and she felt the Prophet ﷺ waking up very suddenly. So she also woke up and said, Ya Rasulullah, be at rest. What's wrong? What's wrong? So the Prophet ﷺ said, how can I rest when I have seen the angel of the horn, who is Israfil, has taken a deep breath, and he has puffed out his cheek, and he has put the horn into his mouth, and he is now looking at the throne waiting for the command to be given. Meaning, Israfil has gotten ready. This is why the Prophet ﷺ said, when I die, there is nothing else remaining except for you to wait for the last hour. فَإِذَا هُمْ مِنَ الْأَجْدَاثِ, it is as if from Ajdath is the graves, إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ يَنْسِلُونَ, to their Lord running. So they'll be running, they'll be rushing out of their graves, coming and running to Allah Azza wa Jal. قَالُوا, they will say, يَا وَيْلَنَا, woe to us, مَنْ بَعَثَنَا, who has resurrected us, مِنْ مَرْقَدِنَا, from our deep sleep. Who has resurrected us from a deep sleep in our graves? The angels will say, هذا, this, مَا وَعْدَ الرَّحْمَنِ, is what the Most Merciful has promised. وَصَدَقَ الْمُرْسَلُونَ, and the messengers were definitely truthful. إِن كَانَتْ إِلَّا صَيْحَةً وَاحِدَةً, it is nothing but one scream of the horn. فَإِذَا هُمْ, then it is as if جَمِيعٌ, all of this creation, لَدَيْنَ مُحْضَرُونَ, will be present in front of me, present in front of me. Just one scream. We will be resurrected on that day, all our forefathers and our offsprings, and all animals, including dinosaurs, including everything that is in the oceans, will be resurrected all on that day. Muhdarun, presented in front of Allah in rows and ranks. Can you imagine that day? فَالْيَوْمَ لَا تُظْلَمُ نَفْسٌ شَيْئًا, so today no human being will be harmed, وَلَا تُجْزَوْنَ, or anyone will be recompensed, إِلَّا مَا كُنْتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ, except by what you used to do in this dunya. This is why it is not enough to simply believe. You must act. Inna ashab al-jannati al-yawma fi shughulin fakihun. Inna, verily, ashab al-jannah, the people of Jannah, companions of Jannah, al-yawm, today, meaning on the day of judgment, fi shughulin, will be in a very important affair, meaning they're busy. Don't trouble them by asking them, calling out to them. Some of the scholars mentioned that this statement will be said to the people of the fire, because the people from the fire will be calling out to people of Jannah all the time. So the response to them will be, Inna ashab al-jannati al-yawma fi shughulin fakihun. Today the people of Jannah, they're busy. Don't bother them. Hum wa azwajuhum they and their wives, fi dhilalin, are under dhilal. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, he talks about the day when the believers will meet their wives and their spouses, who will be their soulmates forever in eternity. And he talks about how, imagine a man who's been lost in the seas for many years, and his family has almost lost all hope of his return, and thinks that he has no chance of coming back to him. Suddenly this man one day comes back home, and then imagine the way his wife will behave, imagine the way his children will behave, the utter disbelief, the utter enjoyment, the utter happiness, the first embrace. This is exactly how your wives in Jannah will behave on the day you come to them. Hum wa azwajuhum, they and their wives, fi dhilalin, are in the shade, ala al-ara'ik, upon couches, muttaki'un, reclining. Shade from what? Shade from the light of the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there's no light from sun over there, there's only the light from the throne of Allah which is there. Lahum fiha fakihatun wa lahum ma yadda'un. For them is every type of fruit, and for them is whatever they ask for. Salamun qawlam min rabbir rahim. Salam meaning a statement that will be said to them whenever they look up, whenever they ask for something, it will be peace on you, peace. Salam is the absence of difficulty. So salam means peace, but actually it means perfect life. Peace as a statement that will be said from the Rabb, from Allah Rahim, the most merciful Rabb. The Prophet ﷺ said, verily Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has divided His mercy into 100 parts. Only one part He sent to this dunya, 99 parts is for the believer on the Day of Judgment. Also in the Qur'an, Allah says to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and tell my slaves that indeed I am the Ghafoor and the Rahim. وَامْتَازُ الْيَوْمَ أَيُّهَا الْمُجْرِمُونَ. So stand out all you mujrimun, all you wrongdoers today. Meaning stand out today, you're going to be discovered. So the scholars of Tafsir said, this means that the Jews will be grouped with the Jews, the Christians will be grouped with the Christians, the fire worshippers will be grouped with the fire worshippers, and then they'll all be dealt with on their own, because Allah Azza wa Jal will put them into groups. This is why, Ikhwani, my brothers and sisters in Islam, it's very important to be with the believers. It's very important to live with the believers. It's very important to die with the believers. Because you'll be raised up with the people that you love. Today, our youth, they don't love Muslimin. Their idols are not Umar and Abu Bakr and others. And so it's a fear. The fear is because Allah Azza wa Jal says you'll be raised up with the people that you love. So the real battle today is a battle for the hearts and minds. Alam ahad ilaykum, have we not ordained upon you, ilaykum, to you, O children of Adam, Allah ta'bud shaitan, that you should not worship shaitan. Question is, are we really worshipping shaitan? The reality is, listening to him in something which he has ordered against the order of Allah is actually worship. So in fact, when the verse in the Qur'an was revealed, the Jews took their scholars as their gods other than Allah. So one of the Sahaba who was Jewish before, and he had accepted Islam, he stood up and said, but Ya Rasulullah, we never used to worship them. So Rasulullah said, did you not listen to them when they made a halal haram and a haram halal? So they said, yes, we did. They said, well, that is your worship of them. Obeying the shaitan in a matter in which Allah has given you an alternative ruling is worshipping shaitan over worship of Allah Azza wa Jal. Innahu lakum aduwwun mubin. Verily he is to you a manifest enemy. He is a clear enemy. Why are you worshipping this man? وَأَنِ اعْبُدُونِي, and that you should worship only me. هَذَا صِرَاطٌ مُسْتَقِيمٌ. This is the straight path. وَلَقَدْ أَضَلَّ مِنْكُمْ جِبِلًّا كَثِيرًا. وَلَقَدْ, and he has indeed, أَضَلَّ, has misguided, minkum, from you, O human beings. Jibillan is like a lot of people. So large groups of people he has misguided. أَفَلَمْ تَكُونُوا تَعْقِلُونَ. So can you not therefore have logic and understand? Meaning, have you not seen how many groups of people from the Ad, Thamud, Lut, and the Fir'aun, etc., that he has misguided, shaitan has misguided? أَفَلَمْ تَكُونُوا تَعْقِلُونَ. Don't you have sense to see how Allah has destroyed them? هَذِهِ جَهَنَّمُ الَّتِي كُنْتُمْ تُوعَدُونَ. This is the Jahannam that, O you disbelievers, were promised. إِصْلَوْهَا الْيَوْمَ. Enter this Jahannam, al-yawm, today, bima kuntum takfurun, because of what you used to disbelieve in. Then the next verse is the powerful verse where Allah Azza wa Jal says the witnesses that will witness against us. Al-yawma nakhtimu ala afwahihim. Today, al-yawm nakhtimu is to that we will put a seal ala afwahihim on their faces, on their mouths. Wa tukallimuna aydihim, and their hands will speak. Wa tashhadu arjuluhum, and their legs will also speak and witness. Bima kanu yaksibun, with what they used to do. We know that our skin will speak, our ears will speak, our hands will speak, our legs will speak, our private parts will speak on that day, except our mouth. Our mouth will not be allowed to speak, meaning against the witness of these things, because the mouth is lying. But everything else will witness on the Day of Judgment against us. So what are the witnesses on the Day of Judgment? 7 witnesses that the scholars have mentioned. The first witness against us on the Day of Judgment are people and mankind. It's very important to have good friends. So they will either witness for you or against you. The second witness are the angels. And the proof of that is in Surah Qaf. And his qareen, meaning his angel, will say, "Oh my Lord, this is every single thing that he has done in this dunya present in front of you." Number 3 is the book itself. The book of deeds will witness either for us or against us. And from the books is the Qur'an as well, that will witness for us or against us. And you will see the mujrimeen looking inside the book, and they will say, "What is wrong with this book? There is no big thing or small thing I've done except that it is in it." The fourth witness, ikhwati, is the earth. On that day, the earth will speak about its tales. Allah will recreate the earth, and the earth will speak, "Oh Allah, whilst he was on this part of me, he did this sin." The fifth witness will be our body parts. The legs and the hands will all witness. Number 6, the Prophet ﷺ will witness. And how will it be? When we bring a witness for every ummah, and we will bring you as a witness against them. So the Prophet ﷺ will be a witness either for us or against us. Meaning he will witness that, "Oh Allah, I gave them the message, but they disbelieved in it." Number 7 is Allah himself, because his name is Shaheed. So therefore you cannot hide, because he knows that which all other creation of his may not know. He knows what's in the heart, for example, which the angels might not know, for example. So Allah Azza wa Jal is the biggest of witnesses. Subhanallah. So that is the 7 witnesses, ikhwani. Totally surrounded. وَلَوْ نَشَاءُ لَطَمَسْنَا عَلَىٰ أَعْيُنِهِمْ. And if we wanted, so we would have poked out their eyes, or completely sealed off their eyes and removed the ability for them to see. فَاسْتَبَقُوا الصِّرَاطَ فَأَنَّا يُبْصِرُونَ. So they would not be able to see the sirat, and how would they be able to see that? Meaning, if we wanted, we could have removed their eyesight, but we did not. We gave the disbelievers eyesight in this dunya to look and find the truth. But unfortunately, they still could not see. وَلَوْ نَشَاءُ لَمَسَخْنَا عَلَى مَكَانَتِهِمْ. If we wanted, we would have paralyzed them or stopped them. If they committed a sin, we would have stopped the person in that place. فَمَسْتَطَاعُوا مُضِيًّا. So they would not be able to move on, meaning move forward. وَلَا يَرْجِعُونَ, nor go back. Meaning if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to make a scene of us in this dunya, and to take us to account in this dunya, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have paralyzed us in the spot where we did the sin. This is the power of Allah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allows us to commit sins and then keep on moving and moving off. وَمَن نُعَمِّرْهُ نُنَكِّسْهُ فِي الْخَلْقِ. And whoever we increase in their life, we will do the opposite to him in his physique. What is Allah saying here? Whoever we give long life, نُنَكِّسُهُ, will do the opposite, fil khalq, in his creation. Meaning what? Meaning we're giving him long life, or we're giving him less fitness. We're giving him long life, or we're making him more older and weaker and frail. أَفَلَا يَعْقِلُونَ. So do they not understand? Even if you have long life, do you not see how you are eventually going to die? Because even as long as you're living, you're also getting weaker and more frail and more diseased, and you're eventually going to go towards your grave. So let not the long life fool you, or that they are not going to be taken into account. Don't they have sense? Now he moves on to talking about Rasulullah ﷺ, and he says, وَمَا عَلَّمْنَاهُ الشِّعْرِ. We have not taught him poetry. وَمَا يَنْبَغِي لَهُ. And it does not befit a prophet of God to be a poet, because poetry has a lot of false statements in it. إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا ذِكْرٌ وَقُرْآنٌ مُبِينٌ. It is nothing but a dhikr, a reminder, and a Qur'an, a book to be read, mubin, a manifest book that is meant to be read, not meant to be stuck up in the walls. لِيُنذِرَ مَنْ كَانَ حَيًّا. In order to give warnings to the one who is alive. This is why this surah, this verse shows that this surah should not be read to the dead people. Because the Qur'an says here, within Surah Yasin, it says in this verse number 70, so that you may warn the one who is alive or the one who remembers Allah, وَيَحِقَّ الْقَوْلُ عَلَى الْكَافِرِينَ, so that the punishment, the statement of punishment may be affirmed upon the disbelievers. أَوَلَمْ يَرَوْا أَنَّا خَلَقْنَا لَهُمْ, have they not seen? أَنَّا خَلَقْنَا, that we have created, لَهُمْ, for them, مِمَّا عَمِلَتْ أَيْدِينَا, from what our hands have produced. So what Allah's hands have produced, what is it? An'am meaning cattle. فَهُمْ لَهَا مَالِكُونَ, so they are now possessing or in control of the cattle. So now Allah Azza wa Jal gives the example of cattle and how cattle is a sign for us. وَظَلَّلْنَاهَا, ظَلَّلْنَاهَا meaning we have made them obedient to you. لَهُمْ, for them. فَمِنْهَا رَكُوبُهُمْ وَمِنْهَا يَأْكُلُونَ, so some of them we ride and some of them we eat from their meat and we eat from their milk. وَلَهُمْ فِيهَا مَنَافِعُ, and for them, meaning for human beings, from the cattle are manafi', are numerous blessings. وَمَشَارِبْ, and lots of drink from their milk. أَفَلَا يَشْكُرُونَ, are they not thankful? This verse has been used by the scholars of Islam to allow transplants from cattle. So if we take, for example, bones of cattle because of a child was born without a leg, for example, we can take the bone and transplant into the child. Or take a cow valve, this is very common. If a child is born without a valve or has a defective valve, we can take a cow heart valve and put it into the child. They have been made for us, so we can do with them what we want as long as it is for our benefit. وَلَهُمْ فِيهَا مَنَافِعُ وَمَشَارِبْ, and for them is many, many blessings. Like what? Like their fur, like their leather, for example. So many blessings from the cattle. وَمَشَارِبْ, and drinks. أَفَلَا يَشْكُرُونَ, so do they not thank me? وَاتَّخَذُوا مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ آلِهَةً, and they have taken other gods other than Allah as their deity of worship. لَعَلَّهُمْ يُنصَرُونَ, so that perhaps they think that they may be helped. لَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ نَصْرَهُمْ, they will not ever be able to help them. وَلَهُمْ جُنْدٌ مُحْضَرُونَ. In this verse 75, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says is that these idols will never be able to help them when they ask them for help. On top of it, the disbelievers, they have become armies in defense of the idols. فَلَا يَحْزُنْكَ قَوْلُهُمْ, so let their statement, don't let this meaning make you sad. إِنَّا نَعْلَمُ, verily we know, مَا يُسِرُّونَ وَمَا يُعْلِنُونَ, we know every single thing that they're doing secretly or in public. أَوَلَمْ يَرَى الْإِنسَانَ, has insan not seen? أَنَّا خَلَقْنَاهُ مِن نُطْفَةٍ, that we have created him from nutfa, from a despicable fluid that came out of the human being, from which a clot of blood happened from the discharge of the male and the female. And we created you from this despicable fluid, and now you are argumentative standing in front of me. Look how powerful this verse is. فَإِذَا هُوَ خَصِيمٌ مُبِينٌ, so how an arrogant debater is he. Khasim is the one who debates. Mubin, manifest debater. وَضَرَبَ لَنَا مَثَلًا, and he has put forward for us mathal, an example. Meaning he said, oh, God is just like so and so. Oh, Jesus Christ is like God. And he has put an example for my lordship. وَنَسِيَ خَلْقَهُ, and he has forgotten where he came from. قَالَ مَنْ يُحْيِي الْعِظَامَ وَهِيَ رَمِيمٌ, who will recreate this bone when it is dust. Meaning what? That mankind, when he thinks that things cannot be resurrected, that is only because he's thinking Allah is like creation. He's thinking Allah is like human beings who cannot put life back into the dead after it has become dust. Yes, human beings cannot recreate the dead from dust, but that is not Allah. Allah is different. But I am God. I am the one who created him when he was nothing. So why can I not put life back into the dead after it has become dust? So the main reason why the Quraysh thought Allah could not give life back to dead is because they thought Allah's power is as insignificant or limited as is the limited power of human beings. قُلْ يُحْيِيهَا الَّذِي أَنْشَأَهَا, say to them, Allah will give life back to it. الذي أنشأها أول مرة, the one who has given life to it the very first time. وهو بكل خلق عليم, and he is most knowledgeable about all his creation. الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا. Ya Ikhwani, this is very important verse, this one. The one who has made for you from the green trees fire, meaning from this wet tree that has water inside it, Allah has made fire for you. So can you not see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from something He can give something else, rise to something else. From water He can give rise to fire, meaning from a wet tree He can give rise to fire. Why can He not give life from something that is dead? Because water and fire are opposites, correct? But from a green tree that is watery, He gives you fire, the opposite. Why can He not give you life from something that which is dead, which is soil and sand? فَإِذَا أَنْتُم مِّنْهُ تُوقِدُونَ. And now here you go, you light your fires from these two green trees. أَوَلَيْسَ الَّذِي خَلَقَ السَّمَوَاتِ. Is it not possible that the one who has created the heavens and the earth, بِقَادِرٍ, that He has the ability, عَلَىٰ أَن يَخْلُقَ مِثْلَهُمْ, that He can recreate something like it, which is human beings? Bala, Bala meaning of a surety He can. وَهُوَ الْخَلَّاقُ الْعَلِيمُ. He is the Khallaq, He is the most worthy creator, Al-Alim, the one who is most knowledgeable about how to do it. إِنَّمَا أَمْرُهُ, verily His affair, إِذَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا, if He wants something, أَن يَقُولَ لَهُ, that He simply says to it, kun fayakun, be, and it is. The example of Isa was kun fayakun, the example of Adam, kun fayakun. فَسُبْحَانَ الَّذِي, so glory be to Allah, بِيَدِهِ مَلَكُوتُ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ, in His hands the ownership or the kingship of every single thing, كُلِّ شَيْءٍ, of every single thing. وَإِلَيْهِ تُرْجَعُونَ, and to Him is your return on the day of judgment. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.